There is a current that runs beneath the surface of the world, a silent language spoken not in words but in energy. It's the tremor of deceit in a steady voice, the shadow of opportunity in a moment of chaos, the gut-level certainty that logic can neither explain nor refute. This isn't magic or make-believe. It is the most potent and misunderstood weapon in your arsenal, an internal guidance system that the masses have been trained to ignore. Welcome to the Sigma Male community. Today we are not merely discussing a concept. We are unlocking the operational blueprint to your most powerful, innate faculty, the Sigma Male sixth sense. This isn't about having a hunch. This is about understanding the sophisticated, hyper-attuned perception that defines you, a form of introverted intuition that allows you to see the source code of reality while others are merely interacting with the user interface. We will dissect this power, understand its mechanics, and forge it from a raw, dormant instinct into a precision instrument of perception and will, guided by the timeless principles of self-mastery and unshakable inner fortitude. 1. The invisible radar system. Your intuition is not a vague feeling or a lucky guess. It is a highly sophisticated, biological early warning system that operates beyond the clumsy grasp of conscious thought. Think of it as a silent, invisible radar, constantly scanning your environment for threats and opportunities that fly below the perception of the ordinary mind. While others are drowning in the deafening noise of data, conversations, and social static, you are wired to detect the micro-shifts in atmospheric energy. You register the sudden drop in a room's temperature when a lie is told, the almost imperceptible pause in a voice that signals deep-seated insecurity, the faint, electric tremor in a handshake that betrays a hidden agenda. This is not a supernatural gift, but a heightened state of awareness, forged and sharpened in the crucible of solitude. Your nervous system, uncluttered by the need for constant external validation, processes terabytes of subtle, nonverbal information that the logical mind dismisses as irrelevant. Like a predator sensing the change in atmospheric pressure long before the storm clouds gather, you don't just guess that danger is coming. You intercept its trajectory and adjust your course before it ever materializes. This hyper-awareness is a direct result of a mind that is not perpetually distracted. The Stoic practice of paying serene attention to the present moment is not a passive meditation for you. It is your default operational state. You observe the world as it is, not as you wish it to be, and this clear-eyed observation feeds your intuitive engine. While others are caught in the emotional whirlwind of what people say, you are grounded in the stark reality of what they do, what they project, and what they try desperately to conceal. Your solitude is not emptiness, it is a training ground. It strips away the unnecessary, filters out the static of the herd, and allows your perception to become so acute that you feel the truth long before you can articulate it. This is why you often find yourself moving away from a person or a situation without a neatly packaged logical reason. You are not being irrational, you are obeying a deeper, more ancient and more reliable form of reason that is encoded into your very being. 2. The logic trap and how you escape it. Modern society has built a temple to the god of hard data, worshipping at the altar of spreadsheets, metrics, and 5-point plans. It operates under the delusion that anything that cannot be measured cannot be real. But you, the Sigma male, intrinsically understand that this framework has fatal blind spots. You know that pure, unadulterated logic is a clumsy tool, incapable of quantifying the ambition in a rival's gaze, the loyalty in a silent ally, or the impending betrayal hidden within a perfectly constructed smile. These are the variables that truly determine the outcome of our most critical endeavors, and they exist in a realm that logic cannot enter. It is precisely in these moments, when the purely rational mind stalls and freezes, that your intuition ignites. It functions as a master weaver, taking the fractured, disconnected dots of subtle information and binding them together into a coherent, predictive map. It is your mind's quantum computer, processing probabilities and patterns that exist far beyond the simplistic binary code of yes or no. This is not a rejection of logic but an elevation beyond it. You use data to inform your decisions, but you allow your intuition to make the final call. This aligns with the core of Stoic wisdom, which teaches that a virtuous life is one lived in accordance with nature, and your nature includes this powerful intuitive faculty. To rely solely on external data is to become a slave to the past, to what has already been measured and recorded. Your intuition, however, is a tool for navigating the future. It is the compass that guides you when you are in uncharted territory far from any map. This is why you can often see the endgame of a corporate merger, a political campaign, or a personal relationship from the very first move. You are not just analyzing the pieces on the board, you are feeling the intent of the players, the structural weaknesses in their positions, and the inevitable conclusion that their character flaws will produce. While others are trapped in the first layer of analysis, you have already moved to the final layer of truth. 3. The alignment accelerator. Your intuition functions as more than just a defensive shield. It is an active, powerful homing beacon for your destiny. It constantly works to align your life's trajectory with your deepest purpose, pulling you inexorably toward the people, the places, and the pursuits that vibrate at your authentic frequency. Reflect on the most pivotal moments of your life. The job you took that made no sense on paper but felt profoundly right, the city you moved to on a whim, the stranger you spoke to who became a crucial ally or partner. These were not accidents or coincidences. They were the result of your subconscious mind, your intuitive compass, identifying a resonant opportunity in the field of infinite possibilities and guiding you toward it like a tuning fork instinctively finding its pitch. This is a force of acceleration, collapsing the timelines that others spend years navigating through trial and error. While the majority are chasing the noise of societal expectation, the prestigious career, the conventional relationship, the socially approved lifestyle, you are moving toward a silent, invisible truth. This process is deeply rooted in the Stoic principle of living in harmony with your inner nature, or oikiosis. Your intuition is the very mechanism that facilitates this harmony. It acts as an internal filter, effortlessly distinguishing between what is truly meant for you and what is merely a distraction, a temptation, or a trap laid by the world. It's a silent whisper that says, this way, or not that. Learning to trust this guidance system is the key to a life of flow and purpose, where your actions are not born from a sense of struggle or obligation, but from a deep, unshakable sense of correctness. You cease to fight against the current of life because your intuition has already shown you where the river is naturally flowing, and you are moving with it, powerfully and deliberately. 4. The deception detonator. In your presence, masks dissolve and pretenses crumble. The carefully constructed personas that others use to navigate the world become transparent, and you see the flawed, frightened human being operating the controls beneath. This is not because you are cynical or judgmental, but because your intuition is a natural deception detonator. It functions by recognizing patterns at light speed, instantly spotting the incongruence between a person's words, their body language, their vocal tonality, and their underlying energy. To you, these inconsistencies are not subtle vibes. They are glaring errors in the code, glitches in the simulation of their false identity. The fraudulent CEO whose voice tightens when discussing financials, the manipulative partner whose smile never quite reaches their eyes, the fake guru spouting wisdom they have never lived. Their internal contradictions scream at you in a high-frequency language that only the detached and observant mind can comprehend. This ability is a direct consequence of your emotional self-reliance. Because you do not need approval, validation, or anything from anyone, your perception is not clouded by hope or fear. People pleasers are easily deceived because they want to believe the performance. Their desire for acceptance makes them complicit in the lie. You, on the other hand, are an impartial observer. You are watching the theater from the audience, not acting on the stage, which gives you a clear and unobstructed view of the strings pulling the puppets. This is a practical application of Stoic apatheia, not a cold, emotionless state, but a state of being unburdened by irrational passions and attachments. This freedom from emotional need is what turns your intuition into a lie detector. You don't need to cross-examine or interrogate, you simply observe and the truth reveals itself to you willingly or not. 5. The courage conditioner. Trusting your intuition is not a passive act of surrender, it is an aggressive and repeated act of courage. It is bravery calisthenics. Every single time you choose to heed that quiet, internal whisper over the deafening roar of external opinion, every time you walk away from the sure thing, leap toward the uncertain opportunity, or burn the bridge to a toxic past, you are forging and reinforcing the neural pathways of self-trust. This is the true source of the Sigma male's unshakable confidence. It is not built on hollow affirmations or arrogant posturing. It is forged in the fires of action, built brick by brick with every decision that honors your inner truth. Each intuitive win, whether it's avoiding a bad business deal or simply choosing the right street to walk down, is another repetition in the mental gym of self-reliance. You are conditioning yourself to be brave. This conditioning creates a powerful feedback loop. The more you act on your intuition, the more you see its accuracy validated in the real world. This validation, in turn, strengthens your conviction, making it easier to trust your gut the next time a critical decision arises. This is how you systematically drown the voice of doubt. Doubt thrives on inaction and external validation. Courage thrives on internal validation and decisive action. The Stoics taught that true courage is not the absence of fear, but acting righteously in the face of it. For the Sigma, acting on intuition is the highest form of this righteousness, as it is an act of profound loyalty to oneself. While others outsource their decisions to committees, experts, and public opinion, you become your own most trusted counsel. Your confidence becomes unbreakable because it is not based on what you have, but on your proven ability to navigate the unknown. If you're watching this on the Sigma Male Community channel, you already feel it, that dormant voltage in your spine, that quiet hum of awareness that sets you apart. Maybe for years, you've dismissed it as a random impulse or a strange coincidence. Maybe others, in their inability to understand it, have labeled you as reckless, impulsive, or detached. They are profoundly wrong. That tension you feel is not a flaw. It is your untapped power straining against the leash of social conditioning and conformity. This journey isn't about collecting labels or fitting into a new box. It is about the powerful personal recognition that you are wired differently, that you possess an innate capacity to navigate the darkness and complexity that others desperately fear. The question is no longer, are you a Sigma? The real question, the one that will define the next chapter of your life, is this: will you finally and fully weaponize your birthright? 6. The neurosculpting secret. Your intuition is not a fixed, immutable trait you were born with like the color of your eyes. It is plastic, malleable, and infinitely trainable. It is a mental muscle that either atrophies under the weight of chronic doubt and neglect, or hypertrophies with focused, consistent use. The training regimen is simple, yet requires a discipline that few possess. You must begin by consciously starving your analytical mind and feeding your perceptive faculties. Start with 60 seconds of pure silence each day. No phone, no music, no distractions. Just sit and feel, don't think. Notice the subtle signals your body is constantly sending. The sudden goosebumps when a specific thought arises, the clenching in your gut as you consider a decision, the wave of profound calm that washes over you when you contemplate a certain path. These are not random biological events. This is your body speaking to you in its own primal Morse code. To accelerate this process, you must become a diligent record keeper of your own intuitive life. Keep a journal. Document every intuitive hit, every time your gut feeling proved correct. More importantly, document the misses, and analyze why you might have misinterpreted the signal. This is not generic self-help. This is the rigorous and pragmatic work of hacking your own nervous system. Within 30 days of this focus practice, you will begin to decode the unique language of your intuition. You will learn the difference between a signal born of fear and one born of truth. This is the essence of neurosculpting, consciously shaping your brain to prioritize and amplify this sixth sense, transforming it from a background hum into a clear, decisive, and actionable intelligence that guides your every move. 7. The boundary builder. Weak, poorly defined boundaries are an open invitation to emotional and psychological vampires. They are the cracks in your foundation through which your vital energy, your time, and your focus leak out into the world, consumed by those who would exploit your strength. Your intuition, when properly honed and trusted, is the master architect of your personal sovereignty. It drafts the unbreakable blueprints for the walls that protect your most valuable resources: your time, your energy, and your loyalty. It is the internal mechanism that tells you with absolute certainty when to say no, even when you lack a socially acceptable reason. That no you uttered without a lengthy explanation, the door you decisively closed on a toxic family member or a draining friendship, the business partnership you walked away from because something felt off. These were not acts of selfishness. These were acts of your intuition enforcing the non-negotiable borders of your kingdom. While people-pleasers constantly negotiate their boundaries out of a desperate need for external harmony, you understand that true harmony is internal. It is a state of integrity, where your actions align perfectly with your inner truth. Your intuition is the guardian of this integrity. It alerts you the moment someone attempts to cross a line, not with anger or aggression, but with a quiet, firm sense of inner knowing. This allows you to build your life like a fortress, not to keep the world out, but to ensure that only that which is worthy and aligned is granted entry. You cement your power not with loud proclamations, but with the silent, invisible walls of self-respect that your intuition helps you erect and maintain. These boundaries don't just protect you, they project an aura of self-possession that repels manipulators and attracts those who respect strength and integrity. 8. The Chaos Catalyst. Forget the passive New Age concept of manifesting, which often involves little more than wishful thinking. The Sigma male's intuition does not patiently wait for opportunities to appear. It actively creates disruptive opportunities by seeing the hidden potential within chaos. That risky career pivot into a developing industry, the business you launched in the middle of a recession, the investment you made when the market was gripped by fear, these are not gambles. They are calculated moves based on your intuition's ability to spot the voids in the market, the unmet needs in the culture, and the deep-seated desires in the souls of others. Your intuition does not guide you away from chaos. It guides you to the epicenter of it, showing you how to exploit the instability for radical growth and advantage. This is the ultimate expression of the Stoic ideal of turning obstacles into opportunities, the amor fati or love of fate. While the herd panics and scatters in times of uncertainty, your mind becomes clearer and your senses sharper. You see the crisis not as an end, but as a violent reordering that creates new pathways to power. While others are waiting for the green lights of permission and security, your inner GPS has already calculated a route that sprints through the red lights, because it can see the entire map and understands that the perceived carnage is actually the shortest path to your objective. You become a chaos catalyst, not just navigating disruption, but leveraging it, turning the world's instability into the raw material for your own creation. 9. The Pattern Weaver. Your mind does not simply register events as isolated, standalone occurrences. It functions on a higher level as a master pattern weaver, constantly projecting the trajectories of current actions into future consequences. You possess an innate ability to see the invisible threads that connect people, ideas, and movements across time. Like a grandmaster of chess who sees the entire endgame in the first few opening moves, you can sense the converging forces that will lead to economic shifts, the subtle fractures in a relationship that guarantee its eventual collapse, the underground cultural tremors that will erupt into mainstream trends years from now. This is not psychic prophecy. It is the logical endpoint of extreme pattern recognition, fueled by a mind that is constantly absorbing and synthesizing vast amounts of overlooked data. This is why your moves often seem counterintuitive or contrarian to the outside world. When you bet against the herd, you are not gambling. You are making a calculated investment based on shadow variables that others cannot see. You have already perceived the flaws in the popular narrative, the unsustainable nature of the current trend, the inevitable swing of the pendulum. This ability stems from a detached, unemotional perspective, a viewpoint from a higher altitude. You are not caught in the immediate, emotional reaction to events. You are observing the larger pattern, the great recurring cycles of history and human nature. This allows you to position yourself for the future with an accuracy that seems almost uncanny, ensuring that you are not a victim of circumstance but a master of it. 10. The Authenticity Vortex. Your intuition acts as a form of anti-bullshit gravity. It is a relentless force that strips away the performative identities, the social masks, and the carefully curated facades, both in others and more importantly in yourself. That profound sense of exhaustion you feel when you are around fakers and phonies is not social anxiety, it is a deep, visceral rejection by your soul of inauthentic theater. Your entire being recoils from the dissonance of someone pretending to be something they are not. But this force is most powerfully turned inward. Every time you honor a gut truth, every time you listen to the whisper that tells you to quit the soulless job, move from the stagnant city, or expose the uncomfortable truth, you are shedding a layer of dead, conditioned skin. You are stripping away a piece of the false self that was constructed to please others. The result of this continuous, intuitive self-purification is the creation of a magnetic authenticity vortex. As you become more aligned with your core self, your very presence becomes a powerful statement. You no longer need to posture, brag, or signal your value. Your raw, unadorned presence is enough. It is a quiet power that both terrifies posers and irresistibly attracts other authentic individuals, the allies, partners, and collaborators you truly need. This authenticity becomes your brand, your reputation, and your greatest asset. It is the natural outcome of a life lived in allegiance to the quiet, unwavering voice within, creating a gravity well of truth that enriches your own life and exposes falsehood in the world around you. 11. The legacy lens. Ultimately, honing your intuition is about more than just personal gain, tactical advantage, or immediate survival. On its highest level, your intuition is the legacy lens through which you view your life and actions. It is the faculty that guides you toward choices that will create ripples of impact far beyond the narrow confines of your own lifespan. It is the voice that steers you toward mentoring the right protege who will carry your work forward, creating a piece of art or a business that is timeless in its value, or sparking a movement that shifts consciousness long after you are gone. While the masses are consumed with chasing fleeting trends and accumulating perishable status symbols, your intuitive guidance pulls you toward building empires on the bedrock of eternal truths. You become less interested in being timely, and more focused on being timeless. This is the culmination of the Stoic path, to live a life of virtue and purpose that contributes to the human whole. Your intuition in this final stage ceases to be merely a tool for navigating your own life, and becomes the compass for fulfilling your ultimate duty to the future. It allows you to see your place not just in the present moment, but in the grand, unfolding tapestry of history. It helps you to plant trees whose shade you will never sit in. It ensures that the decisions you make today are not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of generations to come. Your intuition is not just for living a successful life. It is the essential guide for building a meaningful legacy that will outlive your name, your body, and your time on this earth. The power we've dissected today is not some external skill you need to acquire. It is already inside you. It is the silent, steady hum beneath the noise of the modern world, a birthright waiting to be claimed, honed, and unleashed. You felt it your entire life, in the decisions that defied logic but led to triumph, in the warnings that saved you from disaster, in the quiet knowing that has always set you apart. Stop dismissing it. Stop doubting it. Your intuition is the most honest and loyal advisor you will ever have. It is time to give it the respect and attention it deserves. If this resonated with you, if you felt the truth of these words in your own core, then acknowledge it. Hit the like button not for our sake, but as a signal to the algorithm to connect more men like you to this knowledge. Share your own experiences with intuition in the comments below. Your battlefield intelligence is valuable to this entire community. Share this video with another man who is walking this path alone and needs the intellectual ammunition. And if you have not already, subscribe and activate the notification bell, not to become a follower, but to ensure you are equipped with the tools we share here at Sigma Male Community for your journey of self-mastery. This channel is not a destination, it is a digital forge, a modern stoa where we sharpen our minds and strengthen our resolve. Remember this as you move forward. Your intuition isn't a feature. It's your foundation. Ignite it. Sigma Male Community.